Every day people die, but you never feel the effects until it hits close to home. These effects are even worse when the death of a loved one comes unexpected. 5 years ago, Sierra Krizman died from bacterial meningitis. Sierra was living in the dorms of the University of Northern Colorado when she contacted the disease. When the symptoms finally hit her, she thought it was only the flu, but as it turns out, it was way worse. Thankfully, nobody else died at this party. This bacterial disease can spread like wildfire. Kyle tells Sierra's story.
All right, we're here. We're sitting with Kyle Clegg, and we're going to tell the story about losing a loved one and like the impact that causes. So, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kyle.
All right, this is my brother, and so why don't you tell us about Sierra, like the type of person she was?
Well, the best way to really describe her, I guess, would be bubbly. She had a personality that everyone seemed to like. She would always light up a room whenever she walked in it. She had a smile that was captivating. She was a really just genuinely good-hearted person. You know, she loved animals. She loved kids. She was a nanny. She was in school up at Colorado State and UNC. Very family-oriented. Just an all-around fun person.
So, all right, something very tragic happened to her. So, what was that thing that happened?
Well, Sierra passed away in 2007 from meningitis, which now is becoming all too well known. She went to a party on a Friday night with a few friends, and Saturday and Sunday she started to feel like she was sick with the flu. She had some flu-like symptoms. She went to the hospital on Monday night at around 9:30 midnight, and she passed away Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock from complications with it. Basically, all of her organs shut down and her body just gave up.
So, like, her death was unexpected, you'd say?
Absolutely. She thought she had the flu. She didn't think anything of it, and if they had known in time, they might have been able to save her, but more than likely she would have still lost all of her limbs. So it was a very unexpected thing, especially when nobody knew about it.
All right, so it had a very strong impact. What would you say, like, the impact was on her friends and family?
I would say the impact had to be tremendous. Someone who's friendly like that has so many friends. You know, it's hard to lose any friend, let alone someone who's never really said anything bad about anybody. Especially somebody who has that close family ties. The whole family was devastated, you know, and still in a lot of ways is, even being 5 years later. Luckily, if there is any positive to come from in this situation, you losing a loved one, it's that you can have a cause be brought out from it, basically trying to help others get vaccinated against it. So in that aspect, it's a little bit easier, if you will, to lose a loved one, but still not the easiest thing.
She has a lot of impact on, like, there's causes for her, there's races, like, talk about some of those, like...
Well, what her
those come out
family
of that.
started after she passed away was Sierra's Race Against Meningitis. Basically, they do a 5K run walk every year and to raise money for free vaccination clinics. Basically, they try to get everyone they can vaccinated against the meningitis. They're trying in the Colorado Senate to pass a law where people going into each level of school, elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college has to be vaccinated, as well as when they sign up for sporting activities, football, basketball, what have you. They go around the country talking to other meningitis survivors and participating in their festivities for, you know, their remembrance ceremonies and their meningitis deals, I guess.
What effect has this had on you? Like, how would you say you've changed from this?
I would say I changed in my personal sense just as to always live, yeah, it sounds really corny, but live life to the fullest and live every day like it's your last. When it's something so unexpected like that, it really kind of wakes you up and realize that no one is going to be there forever, and you never know when someone can be taken from you. So you always kind of want to just have the situation where you'd rather say something and wish you hadn't rather than not say something and wish you had.
Meningitis is a bacterial infection around your spinal cord and brain soft tissue membrane. It infects the whole body, shutting down all vital organs. It kills the blood flow to all extremities, meaning your hands, fingers, toes, etc. This is why survivors are usually amputees. Meningitis also drains the water from your body, making you severely hydrated. It is extremely deadly because the symptoms are so similar to the flu, making it undetectable until it is too late.
What have you done or what have people done to create awareness for meningitis?
Well, one of the things we did is we made bracelets and give them out at the races, the 5K run walk, and the vaccination clinics. It has the website on there. It has her initials, etc. We also did a pink race car body that has Sierra's Race Against Meningitis logos all over it. That way, people at the racetrack can see it. They can check out the website. Everything, get all the knowledge they need from it. Brochures. They go to restaurants, all kinds of different places, just to try to spread the awareness.
When this happened, it was a big deal. What did the media do about this?
Well, when it first happened, all the major news agencies from Colorado were there, 9 News, 7 News, Channel 4, kind of interviewing everybody, trying to figure out exactly what happened, if there was any signs ahead of the time that would kind of keep people in, but because there wasn't, they really kind of just went off with meningitis and tried to get people vaccinated against it. Every year they come to the 5K run walk just to try to keep people aware of it, try to get it out there, known as much as possible.
Why was this such a big deal when it happened?
The big reason why it was such an incredible thing was because nobody knew what it was, and it wasn't required as a vaccination at UNC, CSU, or any of the other schools in the area. So because it wasn't a requirement for students to get vaccinated against it, there was possibility of way more people conjuring up with the disease, because it spread through saliva, drinks, cigarettes, sharing eating utensils. It's a perfect case, worst storm scenario for dorms and campus living.
With the addition of awareness about meningitis, how many lives do you think you've affected?
Well, I know every year for the last 5 years we've had well over 1,000 people at each one of the 5Ks. As well as probably at least a few hundred at each one of the vaccination clinics, let alone with just the awareness spread. I gotta think at least, neighborhood of 10,000 people have been saved from it. CSU had a few hockey players pass away from it, as well as other people around the country. So it's becoming more and more aware to the people, if you will.
How do you think this tragedy affected you and her family?
If anything, if there was any positive to pull from it, it's that I kind of gained a second family. Because we were such close friends, I kind of got immediately adopted into their family, if you will. I'm very close with their family and her friends. It really just kind of wakes you up and to realize that, life is short, have fun, but yet also build relationships with as many people as possible.
Losing a loved one unexpectedly drastically affects your personality and views on life. Not all the effects can be negative, though. Through meningitis awareness, lives can be saved, and Sierra's story can be told. She will live on, and her impact on her family and loved ones will be remembered.